I could just look at that sky and know snow's on its way. And I almost forgot that I wanted to bring this to the dump before the snow came, because once it gets wet, we're not going to want to put it in the car. I'm kind of hoping my husband will let us bring some of this cardboard too. What a mess. This is something we're definitely going to need to get cleaned up. This is our dirty little secret that we hide behind this fence. I don't know if I put the stuff back here. I mean, that's trash too from all the paper declutter that needs to go to recycling. And I got Goodwill stuff in the front. I don't know. He might want to put them in the middle back. So I'm just going to bring them over to the car. And then I can let him decide where in the car the bags go. The bags are trash. The plastic bags, they're all paper. Oh, dude. Can you just tell it's going to snow?
Yep. Sure can. You can get the car.
Do you want to slide any of the cardboard that's behind the fence in here?
What's that?
The cardboard behind the fence, do you want to slide any of that in here? Yay, some of the cardboard's going, and he wasn't planning on coming with me. I was going to go alone until I saw the state of our car, and I'm like, I don't even know where to put the stuff. How about that big piece? Is that it?
Except for the tweed.
Oh yeah, the tweed CBD blanket.
Just hold this in my lap while I drive.
Great.
Perfect. Ooh.
It's already starting as like a rainy mix, so we came out here just in time. At 3:30 in the morning on Thursday, we woke up to no electricity. It had gone out. And then at 6:30, we heard a big crash, and my husband was like, I think a tree just fell. Sure enough, we go out, and the tree had fallen on Yvonne's car. You see our other two cars there. The branches are within an inch of the other two cars. I think her car is okay. We haven't been able to move the tree yet, and thank goodness it didn't do any damage at all to the other two. But trees were falling all over our area and the areas surrounding us. Crews could not keep up with it. They asked us to please stay off the roads unless we absolutely had to be on the roads because it just wasn't safe. Meanwhile, right before, about a half an hour before that tree fell, my daughter Rachel had gotten up. She was worried about the food in the refrigerator, so she packed up everything that would spoil in these two coolers and put them outside, knowing that they would be plenty cool outside until we could get up, get the generator going, and get those where they needed to be. So that's exactly what happened. We were so thankful that she did that for us. So it was get out the kerosene heater, get the generator going, and then put the groceries away again. It's bring it all down. So we have an extension cord going from the generator through a window, down the stairs, because our Samsung, I can't hook to a generator, it doesn't work, which I've heard other people have the same problem with Samsung. So thankfully I kept my previous refrigerator because there wasn't anything wrong with it. I just needed a new, I thought I would save maybe some electricity, but I needed a new one. We needed a bigger one because of our big family at the time. So I'm going to be bringing the stuff down the stairs that Rachel had gotten up at 6 a.m. because she realized the lights had been out for like 2 hours, got stuff in coolers, put it outside, did some shoveling. We're all sleeping. And so now I'm bringing the stuff from the cooler down here, as well as some other things that were in the refrigerator and freezer. Everything in the freezer upstairs hasn't even begun to melt, thank the Lord. This will be my walk today. Is this stuff up and down the stairs. I always clean after a storm too, so that is very helpful. That way it's ready for the next storm. Don't rain on my parade. Let's see. Robin brought the cooler down, so that makes it easier. Huh?
This is the lower part of the freezer.
Oh, okay.
So there's some frozen stuff in here, like ice packs or whatever. Just leave them in the cooler, and then that way.
Okay.
And the cooler for stuff that keep upstairs while you're cooking. Right?
Yeah. You could fry these hash browns
Yeah.
because they're not frozen.
Yeah.
Now we brought down some of the freezer stuff. I'll put that in here. This is why I've been keeping low inventory in my fridge and freezer. Because this is not good. So see, a low inventory is necessary because my freezer down here is like half the size of the upstairs. Fortunately, when we lose power, it's usually because of snow. So that means it's cold outside if I had to put stuff outside. These are going on the door because they're just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Whoops, feels like there's something else in there. Whoops. Yep.
These should be.
I was going to carry those up the stairs was my plan.
No, just here though, so you have a
Yeah,
surface
here.
that you can work with.
Okay.
Right?
So that is everything for the freezer. And those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Pardon the graininess, but it's because my camera doesn't have enough light down here with no power. And then I still have plenty more to bring in the fridge, so this is going to be interesting. I just have to be careful not to get too much weight on the door. That's one thing I've struggled with. Forgot I brought this orange juice down. Stuff I know we're not going to eat today. Down here on the bottom. Unless it would be in danger of spoiling, of course. Then it needs to be in the main fridge. One way to clean out your refrigerator. Which I was thinking I needed to do, which is kind of funny. Because I'm doing it now. So very thankful for this refrigerator. Last load. Save the paintbrushes. Priorities, you know. Oh, it fits. I'll just bring the frostings down. Those will fit.
Pretty with frosting.
I will.
I can do it.
Okay. So here's the refrigerator. Now I can go upstairs and deal with the stuff we're throwing away. yesterday's video, you saw me making the potato salad, and I opened the refrigerator and I said, this needs to be cleaned out, and this is when it's happening. So it's always hard to decide to get rid of leftovers or to keep them. So it got a little bit easier. When you lose power, you become a little bit more critical of what you're going to keep. We had leftover lamb stew from Easter. We had eaten some of it, and that's what happens a lot of times is some of it got eaten, but not all of it. So I didn't feel too badly because most of this stuff made it through more than one meal, and we end up putting rice away a lot of times, and then it doesn't get eaten, or tomato sauce or tomato paste, that kind of stuff. And then one of the sauces that my husband made. So it all got dealt with, and we're kind of starting a little bit more fresh. And, because what we do is we shut our generator off for the night. So the stuff in the freezer stays, because that stuff is supposed to be able to last for 48 hours. The stuff in the refrigerator that needs to stay, be protected gets in coolers and it gets brought outside, which is pretty much everything in the refrigerator. So, and here I am putting away the dishes from last night. So thankful I started the dishwasher. So thankful I remembered to start the dishwasher. So I'm getting everything put away, and then I'm just going to be rinsing all of this stuff and putting it in the dishwasher, hoping to do it when we get power back. But, just a spoiler alert, it's still in there, and today is Saturday. This happened Thursday morning, so I might have to turn around and go ahead and pull those out. I've been boiling water to wash dishes, so I might have to do that. I took some of the eggs that had not been cooked yet, and I hard-boiled them because that makes for an easy snack, or we can throw it on salad. You're always trying to think of things that don't take a ton of cooking. You can always crack it and see. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, this one's hard-boiled. All right, that's good. Oh, yeah, okay. I got all three of the hard-boiled ones. This is kind of funny. So when Rachel had come and saved our refrigerator contents and put it in a cooler that morning, she didn't know I had a few hard-boiled eggs in there, so she put them with the regular eggs. When she found them, she's like, why are these random eggs in a drawer? And just put them with the other eggs because she didn't know I hard-boiled them. So I tried to just feel which ones were hard-boiled and which ones weren't, and would you know, I got it right. So I rescued the hard-boiled eggs, and then I hard-boiled some of the other eggs, and then the next morning we made scrambled eggs. As you saw, we had one electric strip there, so our priority is the refrigerator. So the generator definitely is keeping the refrigerator cool. And there's two places on the generator to put a cord. So one of the cords is for the refrigerator. The other cord is for that power strip you saw on our dining room table. And we have a 2-burner little electric hot plate that I actually got because big family, Thanksgiving, and that thing is such a blessing. And then, of course, the Keurig, because priorities, you need your coffee. So, we're charging phones and that sort of thing, and maybe we'll run one lamp at night. But other than that, we are fine living in the dark as long as we can keep our electronics charged. We can use our rice cooker. We can use our 2-plate electric burner, or you know what I mean, the oven top thing I just said. And we can use our Keurig. Maybe not all at once. We have to be kind of careful, but it's been working out just fine. For heat, we have a kerosene heater, and we can also put our tea kettle on top of that to be boiling water for tea as well as for washing dishes. Right now I'm putting all of the ice packs in a garbage bag, and then I'm going to go to the freezer, get out all the ice. I put that outside so that we can use that in the cooler in the evening. So by putting it outside, it will all stay frozen, and then when it comes time to put the refrigerated stuff outside in the coolers, I'll also be able to pack it with ice. So that was nice to have as well. It's wonderful to have it cold outside so that we can shut our generator off at night, put the refrigerated stuff outside. That way it saves on the generator, because running a generator 24 hours a day doesn't really work for whatever reason. We were talking about how in other states you need a go bag because tornadoes, hurricanes. In Maine, it's more getting trapped at home by a blizzard. And I think I need to start a stay bag so you can look forward to that.
Whenever I see a prediction where I think it's possible that we could lose power, I make sure my laundry's all caught up. And part of that's not that we couldn't live, 4 or 5 days without doing laundry. It's more that when the power's out and you're messing with generators and you're trying to preserve food and figure out eating, it helps me not to have piles everywhere. So I made sure that the laundry got done. Yvonne's laundry also got done. She got hers done. Creasy got hers done. I make sure, it's like, if you want a hot shower, you better be taking one before you go to bed, which I did. Making sure the dishwasher was turned on because, now I do wish I had the thought to clean out the fridge, and I made the YouTuber mistake of like, I want to film it. And, I have other things I want to film first. So that was a YouTube rookie mistake. I should have just done it. I should have just thrown a camera on it and gotten whatever footage I could have got. I don't know. So I wish I would have cleaned out my fridge because now my dishwasher is full from the refrigerator leftovers. And some leftovers I might have kept and they might have got eaten, but I don't think so. My pants are filthy. I don't know if I did that this morning or what, but anyway. And there was one thing my husband wanted to keep. It was some ham. I don't really think anyone's going to eat it, but it made him feel better to keep it, so I kept it. I just switched it over to a Gladlock bag so it wasn't in a big dish. Very glad that all the refrigerator stuff fit. So this morning, it was 3:30 in the morning when we lost power, and it was because of when I called into our Central Maine Power electric company. It said because of heavy snow. Now it is windy and I have a lot of trees around my house. You have to get special permission here to take trees down, and so many are so close to the house I can't just, it's something where you'd have to hire someone insured to take them down. They would have to go from the top down with a bucket loader because there's just too many houses. Anyway, what was I going to say? So 3:30 we lose power, and then I didn't know this, but Rachel got up at 6 concerned about the refrigerator, and she took everything that would have spoiled quickly, put it in the coolers, shoveled the walkway outside so that my husband could get to the generator easily when he woke up, put the stuff in the coolers, put him outside to save the food. That was a blessing. Then at about 6:30, we hear this big boom. And my husband's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Because I was up for like an hour and a half at 3:30. And finally, he killed his phone battery by putting a digital fan on for me so I could go back to sleep, which totally worked. I went back to sleep. So then I'm like, I don't want to get up. I don't care what that noise is. He goes, "I think a tree just went down." Sure enough, tree went down. The top of the tree did hit Yvonne's car. I don't think there'll be any damage from it because we'll have to see. But then it kind of like rolled under the Ford. We have a small Ford, and then we have the Chevy Traverse, which is an SUV. Thank the Lord. So I had said last night we need to park the cars near the road, which is kind of a little trick we do in snow-nami situations where that way if you do have to dig out, you don't have much to dig. You just park at the end of your driveway, but you don't park so close that a plow is going to hit you, or, you got to park far enough away to give the plows room for their snowbanks. And then so the tree fell exactly behind our 2 functioning cars. It hit the top of Yvonne's car, which actually isn't functioning, and I honestly don't think she's going to fix it. The shocks are completely gone on that car. So it's a blessing that those trees did not come down on our 2 vehicles, because it would have hit both of them at the same time. That would have been terrible. So we're definitely counting our blessings. And then we've had some small trees come down. There's definitely other trees that could come down for sure based on the drooping and swaying. I have a feeling the girls will probably be bringing mattresses down the stairs tonight and sleeping downstairs. I don't know how safe it would be for them to sleep upstairs. So anyways, I'm already bushed. So I think after this, I'm going to take a break. I can still vacuum because I have a cordless vacuum and I always keep it charged. But I think I'm just going to do some computer work. I can't access the internet. I can't upload, which makes me very sad. I wish I would have uploaded my video last night, but I wasn't quite done editing and I kind of fizzled out and I went to bed, which is probably good since we got woken up at 3:30 with the power going out because my fan shuts off, so that's what wakes me up. All right. Good thing is we get plenty of towels. So thankful I did get caught up on my laundry because everybody was kind of trying to do their laundry. It's like, oh no, storm's coming. Quick, get the laundry. Oh boy. But they're saying there's trees down all over the roads and their crews can't keep up with it. So they're saying stay home if you don't have to go anywhere. And it's like, you don't have to tell us twice, you know? So Yvonne was the only one scheduled to work outside the house today. Unfortunately, my husband can't work because we have no internet and no power. So, and I can film, but I can edit and film, I just can't upload. But we're counting our blessings, we're all safe. There hasn't been anything falling on our house, but it's heavy and it's windy, and that's not a good combination when your power lines are above ground.
While the storm was raging, I thought since my refrigerator upstairs was empty, it was a great time to get it deep clean. So I'm just showing you the little chocolate chips we have there. It felt really good to take everything out, give it a great wipe, get it all disinfected, and now honestly, it just makes me feel good that when the power finally does come on, my refrigerator will be so clean, and I haven't had a good chance to deep clean it like this in a very long time because it's never empty, so I usually go shelf by shelf, but this time I really took my time because honestly, what else is there to do? We had no cell service, no electricity, so it was a great time to get to do this, and I still had some warm water from the hot water tank, so I just was going as sparingly as possible on the hot water. Let me tell you our situation. So on one side of us, we have like 3 smallish trees that are bending the wires, the electrical wires off the telephone pole. Our neighbor, their wire is down across the street that goes from the telephone pole to their house. And then further down the road, where we would get out on the other side, there was a draping wire draped across the road. but you could get a car under it to the left-hand side. So at first we were like, no way, Jose, that's just not safe. And we already had been told that crews couldn't keep up with all of the trees that were coming down. So we ended up calling the person who plows us out, who's a dear friend of our youngest son. So he's 19, 20 years old. I think he's 20. He ended up coming and picking up my husband so we could go. This was the second day, so we could go get more gas for the generator. And that's kind of where you start. And that gave my husband the opportunity to kind of assess the area. There was another downed wire where we would go just about anywhere, right across the road, and cars were going over it, which of course you're not supposed to do. So you kind of start out there of like, okay, this is not safe, we're not going to do it. And then as time goes on, you're like, okay, I need to feed my family, I need to keep my family warm. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go under the wire, we're going to go over the wire, we're going to do what needs to be done. And that's kind of where you end up. Then we couldn't figure out why we weren't getting any cell reception at all, like texting. I could receive a text, I couldn't send a text. At the beginning, I could make a call, then I couldn't make any calls. Finally, after a couple days, my husband called our carrier, AT&T, and they said that both of our towers, that at first one tower went down and is broken and needs to be fixed, and then the second tower was broken, and I don't understand more than that, except that they say it could be up to 2 weeks before I have cell service. Oh my goodness, and of course we don't have internet. So it's just a bit of a dire situation. And then we finally got an update. Today for me is Sunday, and we finally got an update yesterday that they don't expect us to have power restored on our road until Tuesday night. And that is because of down trees and down wires and broken telephone poles. Everything was snapping with the heavy snow that we were getting. And I don't know if it being spring had anything to do with it, if the ground not being as frozen. It doesn't seem like it, as trees were literally snapping in half. But it's possible. We have 2 full trees down on our little half-acre yard and tons of branches. So it's kind of funny that I was raking and now there's trees where I was raking. It's just the way it is, and you just have to be thankful that none of them hit the house, because I'm sure others were not. We also had gotten to a place where we needed more kerosene, so under the wires we went, over the wires we went, and we went out to the hardware store. And the hardware store was closed because of no power, but there was an employee, maybe it was the manager, I don't know, but standing at the doorway, and he said if we could pay in cash, he would give us kerosene, but because the store was closed, he couldn't let us actually inside the store. So the problem was we didn't have any cash, so we drove around looking for an ATM machine that was actually functional. So that took us about 45 minutes to go out, find an ATM that was functioning. We kept stopping at different places, and then we went back and we were able to get the kerosene. So then my husband went out again this morning, which I said is Sunday because we need more, and he was only able to get a small can. So now the hunt is going to begin for places that will have kerosene for us. So it's a day-by-day survival game. When I was younger, these times would immobilize me. Just from the stress, I would be more like a zombie. But as I've grown older and I've weathered more of these times, I have found it actually helps me to just keep on going and think of little advantages like, oh, my refrigerator is empty and now I can get it deep cleaned. Or, look, I can have time now to read that book I've wanted to read. So right now I am reading one of the books from the Lincoln Lawyer series. I've been slowly, oh so slowly, making my way through that series. I don't even know which one I'm on. I don't know what number it is. And then I have another kind of mystery lawyer courtroom book that I'll probably start if I can finish this one. And then another one called Essentialism, which is more about decluttering your life and your schedule. So as I read that one, I'll definitely share with you things that I'm gleaning from it so that we can all benefit. My husband knows how to crochet because he's just one of those jack of all trades kind of guys. And Rachel had wanted to learn to crochet. She knows how to knit, but wanted to learn to crochet this year. So last night they were on the couch and he was teaching her how to crochet. So that was kind of neat. And then today, her and I are going to head out to Books A Million and whoever else is available and awake. and I'm going to try to upload some videos that I have edited and get those scheduled. I have two, this one and then one that you'll see previous to this one. I'm also going to stop at Michael's, which is right down the street, and I'm going to get some more cotton thread so that she can continue to learn to crochet, and she wanted a bigger crochet hook than the one that we have, so we'll get that too. So that all feels nice, just those little treats of the day. I'll see if they have any more adult coloring books. We got one manga coloring book that Yvonne had seen on TikTok, so we got that. We got some markers, so we've been using that. You know, it's just a quiet time. And I have to say, I don't feel rested. I think just the stress of everything. I am sleeping well. I sleep just as well, honestly. I enjoy not having any heat and getting to bundle up in lots of blankets. So that hasn't really bothered me. But there is a certain amount of tiredness just from the stress of always having to think about kerosene and oil and gas and how we're going to cook and what we're going to cook and preserving food and moving the food out at night. But I have to say that after the first day, Rachel and Robin took over the job, and Rachel's been all along. First she was helping me, now she helps her dad to get all the food in the coolers, and we put them on the stairs heading out our bulkhead instead of all the way up the stairs and out onto our front porch. That's been working a lot better. It's a lot easier for them. So I'm thankful that they took over that job for me, that I don't have to do that part anymore. So it helps when everyone pitches in, and I was able to get some paper plates and plastic spoons and forks and plastic cups just to get us through without having to do so many dishes. That has helped a lot too, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate having the electric little hot plate that has 2 burners. That has been a lifesaver. And we also have our gas grill outside. So the first night we did chicken outside. And it's just a day-by-day thing of what are we going to have. I'm hoping to get some hamburger because all they had was like the 80%. Oh, that's the other thing. When I went into my grocery store, I was surprised. First of all, lots of empty shelves like the produce, but in the refrigerator and freezer section, all of that they had lost from not having electricity, so they were pulling everything out of the cases. It broke my heart to see all that food that they were going to have to dispose of, and they were trying to restock because they had electricity on day 2. So that was when we went to the store, was day 2, and it just was really sad to see, but thankfully we were able to get enough of what we needed. But there was like not one egg in the store, so I was really glad that I had leftover eggs from Easter. It's the next day now, and you get up bright and early. Usually at night I start to feel a little bit discouraged, and then after a good night's sleep I feel a whole lot better and ready to tackle another day. So I'm just getting trash emptied, making sure the toilet is clean, but my real goal is to get the dishes done, because at first you think, okay, I can just leave the dishes. Now I have to say I have not even delved into the dishwasher where I put all of the dishes from the previous day and cleaning out the refrigerator. I'm going to save that for another time. I'm not quite sure when. It might not be till tomorrow where I'm going to Books a Million today. But as you can see, the kitchen needed a lot of help. And so what I had to do was boil water in the teapot, and that's where I started, but I ended up realizing it was much quicker to use the hot plate. And I also started by thinking, hey, I'm going to disinfect the island, and I'll put a towel there, and I can put all of the dishes I clean there. But I bet you can guess what happens there. I'll let you see in a few minutes. The other thing that happened to me was I had a kettle on the kerosene heater for dishes, and people were like, oh, hot water, and they were using it for tea, of course. So then I had to put another kettle on, and I ended up realizing it was much quicker to heat water on the hot plate, as I said, so then it made more sense to do it there instead. So I'm going to do some cleaning while I'm waiting for my second kettle to get hot. Look at Woozy, so innocent there, and he used to be able to not jump up on the chair anymore because of his weight, but he's lost some weight, so now he is finding himself much more agile. So look, there we go, and there goes my dish dryer.
This was like a clean surface I just disinfected. I put a towel on so I could put clean dishes on when I'm done washing the dishes. Hi, baby.
You are the vine, and we are the branches. I can do nothing apart from you. Giver of life, the one to hold on to. I can do nothing apart from you. No, no. You're my lifeline. 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 Showing forgiveness and loving your children. I can do nothing apart from you. No, no. Speaking your word and being able to listen. I can do nothing apart from you. No. You're my lifeline. 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 Yeah. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. Yeah. In you I live, in you I give. In you I love and can forgive. In you is where my breathing is. You're my lifeline. In you I live, in you I give. In you I love and can forgive. In you is where my breathing is. You're my lifeline. In you I live, in you I give. In you I love and can forgive. In you is where my breathing is. You're my lifeline. In you I live, in you I give. In you I love and can forgive. In you is where my breathing is. You're my lifeline. 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 God. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline.
Once the vacuuming was done, then my water was ready to be washing dishes. So I wanted to just describe to you how I did this because I felt like it really helped me to conserve my hot water. So right now I'm just kind of getting everything organized. I ended up deciding to use the bigger bowl I had for rinsing and the smaller bowl I had for washing the dishes. So what I did was I put the boiling water in the two bowls, and I did like half the bowl, or like really half the tea kettle in each of the bowls. I'm trying to get everything clean because I've realized I'm not going to be putting the dry dishes on the island because I know a cat is going to jump up there eventually. I don't want to fight cats. So I'm cleaning this area off, and then I'm going to put a shower towel there to absorb the extra water. Once I got the hot water into the bowls, I added cold water until it was cool enough for my hands to stand it. Then what I would do is I would do an initial wash of the dish in cold water. Then I would put it in the hot soapy water, but that's more just a disinfecting thing. That way I didn't have to worry about having food kind of floating around in that water. Then I would rinse the dish in cold water to get any suds off. Once I had the suds off, then I would put it in the rinsing bowl. That way my rinsing bowl didn't get taken over by sudsy water. That seemed to work well for me and seemed to be fast. It also seemed to preserve my soapy water as well as my rinse water so that I could get through all of the dishes. So that method worked really well for me. And then the next day I learned put a pan and the kettle onto the hot plate since I have two burners and get twice as much hot water. And that way, if I needed to change out my water, I could. So that worked really well for me as well. I have to say this storm took me completely by surprise. They were not predicting high winds, which is usually what kills our electricity. They were just predicting a lot of snow. A lot of snow in Maine isn't really a big deal. It all plows the same. I had gotten a warning from our Central Maine Power that they were prepared bringing in extra people from the state or other states to help with downed, power. That didn't really give me a red flag because the last time we had a storm, we didn't even lose power. Other people did, which did surprise me a bit at the time. I just wasn't seeing the warning signs. So next time I am just going to take every precaution, get me some paper plates, get the muffins and all the things. So it wasn't like I wasn't able to cook, but you really do want to have things you don't have to cook. It's just so much easier. So once we were able to get to the store, I got some muffins, I got bread, because we're not even a bread family. I also got meat for sandwiches and cheese and all the veggies and all the things. So, and more snacks and, things that the kids like to have when, we don't have electricity and everything's kind of pretty miserable. So I'm filling up this pan again so that I can put it on the hot plate and get even more hot water. So it felt good to get all the dishes done. It felt good to go out and get some supplies and get some kerosene and know that we were going to be good at least for the next definitely few days with groceries and at least 24 hours with kerosene. It's kind of a daily thing. Remember, I love you, God loves you too, and I can't wait to see you hopefully tomorrow.